All right, guys. We're at that time of the year where the brackets are already established. We've already had 1 week in the playoff round. Two teams were eliminated on both sides. Class 2006 and Electric Boogaloo in the winners bracket, which were teams that barely slipped in as the lower wild cards. And now they're out, and deservedly so, because they just didn't have the team or the points to go any further. And in the losers bracket, we had two teams also slip out, which was Young Guns and Headhunters. So in the losers bracket, we have Primetime, The Rook, Wolverine, and How About Them Cowboys, trying to find out who is the biggest loser winner. The winner of those four teams will get the first, second, third, and fourth round, so on and so on. And in the winners bracket, we have Cross and the Warrior, the teams that had the two byes. Cross will face Mad Dogs, who was the wild card, and the Warrior, will face Playmakers, who was the division winner. Of those teams there, we'll decide who's going to be the number one champion, who's going to be the number one loser champion, to determine next year's draft in the losers bracket, and in the winners bracket to determine who will be the champion of 2014. After all that is said, I want to point out a fact, which is sometimes you may not see the facts unless someone brings them out. In the losers bracket, the six teams that I gave you, Rook, Prime, and Rook being a rookie, which again I want to say thank you, and would have made the playoffs if Class would have beat Electric Boogaloo. But that being said, Rook, Primetime, Headhunters, How About Them Cowboys, Young Guns, and Wolverines only have one championship in 13 years. 14 years. On the other side, in the winners bracket, there's 10 championship years. So there's a difference there. If you're looking at a draft, if you're looking at everything, keepers and free agency, to have six teams in the winners bracket right now to have 10 championships, and have six teams in the losers bracket to have one, I think something needs to be done to make that losers bracket, those teams, to be a little bit more competitive. And I have a plan for that. And I'm going to send out a vote in the future here, different options to determine what this league wants to do. I think looking at I was kind of been looking at some of the history of some of the teams and the draft and the way they've been picking. I think that we need to do something to even up the teams that are in the losers bracket, because it seems that teams that always do well, and they may do well even if we change the way we draft and things like that. But I'm going to send that out for a vote. I'm actually going to call most of you and talk to you before next year, maybe in the next couple of, maybe in the next month, and give you what I think are good options and clear options. But I'll give you maybe 3 different options, and I think they're all fair based on what I'm seeing here. As the league continues, there seems to be a pattern, and I kind of want to break that pattern, because I think the teams that are winning always win, and the teams that seem to lose, and I'm not a winner by no means, I'm in the middle. I have good years, I have bad years. I only have one championship myself, but I think there needs to be something done, and maybe that will make a difference. Maybe those teams will figure out how to draft around what we change, but yet I want to consider different options based on some of the opinions I've had from other owners. So anyway, I want you to keep your head open to that. All that being said, guys, we're in the playoffs. We're close. I just broke. This is not to brag. I'll brag later on my own Warrior side. I just broke the record. But the record was I can't remember the actual number, but it's broken as far as total points scored. I think I'm at 1840 and it was 1830. And that's one of my greatest fears, because I'm like, hell, I could lose next weekend and all that is for naught. But yeah, that's part of the game, and I enjoy it, and that makes it fun. That makes it like all week, like for most of you, whether you're in the losers or winners bracket, maybe some more in the winners bracket. When you're thinking ahead, like I'm sure the 4 teams are, which are Crossbar, Warriors, Playmakers, and me, we're all thinking, man, next week, how do we do this? How do we win? Sometimes we really don't control that, because it's just the way it is. But we're kind of looking at matchups. Should I start this? Should I draft someone else? What's going to happen? What is the weather? What is the rest of the schedule? But hey, you know what? We have 2 weeks of fun, 2 weeks of, I need to keep track of this. 2 weeks to keep us entertained, whether you're in the losers or winner bracket. Anyway, I'll be talking to y'all later. Anyway, Warrior out. Thanks.